Hey guys, this is Wired8x here with another episode of Down to the Wired, and so this is just after patch 1.2 came out, or I guess 1.1.2 or something like that. Um, and I've been playing a lot of laddering since then, just because I was able to get into the Masters League right when I started, and yeah, I'm pretty excited about the prospect of kind of playing with some higher tier players because of where I am now. Though I'm not exactly very highly ranked, that's for sure. 80 in my division. But holding strong, winning some, losing some, and so here's an example of a loss. And I like the new feature here where you can take off the timer for the replay, so that's pretty exciting. So anyway, I've been working on a build against Protoss that's a 14 spawning pool and then 16 hatchery. Um, I'm kind of curious as to when I should be getting my Overlord, the third Overlord I guess it is, and when I should be getting my Queen. I just don't feel like I have enough money at this point in the game if I'm going to keep droning as well, so maybe I need to cut drones, but then cutting drones... anyway, that portion of the game makes me feel really awkward, so... Anyway, the big crucial part of this is, I'm here faking an expansion just to get his probe out of my base. I will be getting it down on 16, but I'm still a couple of supply away. What I should have done here is ran out to scout with this drone immediately, because getting a good idea of the forge here, I would have been able to drone a little harder. It would have helped my decision making when it came to whether or not I should be building an overlord, etc., etc. So, anyway, this is going to be a forge fast expand for my opponent. My overlord's going to see this right away. I typically send my first overlord here and my second one here just so that I can run in from two different sides of the map in order to see what he's building. So again, as soon as this pops, I'm going to set up and try to kill it with a Zergling. I have plenty of supply here, but that's... I mean, I wasn't able to get my expansion down, so that's kind of why. But anyway, this build is a 14 pool, 16 hatch into a roach speed / burrow timing push. It handles most gateway builds pretty well. It comes out a little after a 4-gate would, but if you scout the 4-gate early enough, you have the expansion down and the economy to kind of counter it with even just lings, because your roach warren may not be down in time. So anyway, I made a whole bunch of lings. I just make these 6 because I kind of want to go out and get map control, kill anything in the area, and just check to see what he's doing, and boom, I can see that he's dropping his expansion. I'm not going to be too far behind him because I'm going to be getting mine just after this finishes, but I don't think that that's going to be fast enough. Probably should have been a little bit more, a little quicker with my little Zergling friends there. So anyway, he's doing a good job because typically when you fast expand on Blistering Sand, it's not the greatest idea unless you defend your back rocks here. So something that I could have done maybe to speed this game up is use my roaches a little earlier. But we'll see that in just a little bit. So anyway, I knew he was expanding here, so I thought I would run over and do as much damage to this as possible before I went and harassed the expansion. But maybe that was a mistake, because I think with just this one cannon and no gateway, I could have gotten in with these 6 Zerglings, and that probably would have been the better choice here. Regardless, this is going to be really, really weak by the time it gets all over with and my roaches get out. So yeah, I mean, the expansion's not too far behind him, but the fact that he's grabbing one, I have trouble kind of finding a nice little middle ground between keeping the aggression on and out-macroing my opponent when he drops an expansion, because it's pretty hard to kill him unless I, ran for the roaches a little sooner than I did. So I spot this probe coming out and I run back and pick it off with the Zerglings, but I have to run away because of this cannon here. Anyway, I come back to try to pick it off, but he does get in, and so it delays my roach warren even more. I probably was going to put it down any second here. You can see me probably select a drone. So anyway, there was a little exchange here where I accidentally messed up and pulled my Zerglings off of these 2 probes that were sitting here. They were kind of trapped, but I just ignored that fact, I guess. Not sure why I decided to mess with it. Don't fix something that's not broken, right? So, expansion's down. He's able to Maynard a little bit sooner than I am, but I think that overall we have a pretty similar economy. Not too many units out on either side, just the 6 Zerglings for me with speed, and he has 2 Zealots and 2 Cannons. Getting fast 4K, and getting a Stargate and a Robo Facility. Now this kind of threw me off once I saw the Phoenix that are going to be coming out, because I thought to myself, okay, he's going to stay with air, so I can continue with my build with the roaches. He hasn't scouted it or anything like that. But the fact that he's able to get an Observer and eventually Immortals because of this Robo Facility really hinders my ability to play this fight. It just took me way by surprise. It's not very common to see someone put down both, at least not yet. Alright, so the creep spread's happening, and I see this probe coming in, and I want to block him. I don't want him to see the fact that I'm going roaches. That's pretty successful. So anyway, this is kind of a weak time for him, and I think, is that me getting supply block? Yeah, a little bit. There we go, speed and burrow coming down, and I guess I probably, yeah, it's this big supply block probably that kills me, because I could have put down a ton of roaches there, used up some of my gas. I'm getting the upgrades and everything like that, but yeah, that was a pretty big supply block, and I didn't notice that the first time, so I really need to pay attention to that. But at least my supply block issues are happening later and later. Something around the 50 mark is much better than happening at like 26, because those are some pretty crucial, important parts of the game. Something else I noticed that I really need to start working better on my creep spreading, so not just putting down the initial tumor, but running around and picking those up to try to move them forward. So, as I mentioned, I saw these Phoenix driving around the map, scouting out for stray overlords, and the buff for Phoenix 1.2, I mean, I've felt it because I see Phoenix more, but I can't say that, you know, I don't think that they're too strong. I think that it's pretty well placed. It's just very challenging now, because before we had a pretty good idea of where movement was, where troops were out on the map, and now this kind of shuts down any real Mutalisk play. But it is pretty gas heavy for the Protoss, so he's going to be going typically mass Zealot or just mineral heavy armies in general. So anyway, here comes my big batch of roaches, and I know that there are these Phoenix up here, so I decided to rally my roaches in the middle. What I did not know is that there was an Observer. Now, if I had known that there was an Observer, which, by the way, I would have known if my Scouting Overlord had not been killed right here by the Phoenix, I would have probably played it a little safer, maybe been more aggressive with my roaches, but at this point, I'm kind of allowing them to get set up and get moving. See my roaches coming out, I know that. They're hustling, they're bustling, they're trying to get out there. I think that I would have been in a worse position had this player had much better macro. The things that he's doing are, you know, kind of limiting his perfect play, and I understand that, but yeah, this is like 1,000 on the part of him is kind of crazy when you see how much I have in terms of gas and minerals. Oh man, there's a few extra. Oh, that's rough. So anyway, I probably would have gotten shut down even worse had had he had perfect macro. So my money's kind of isn't climbing right now, but it will a little bit later into the fight, and I need to start realizing when I should drop another macro hatchery, because I wasn't able to spend my money, and I had like 1,000 at the end of this game, and that really would have allowed me to push in. Here, I'm just taking the hits. I'm not sure if this is like the best idea. I thought I could get some good damage. I was able to get a little bit of damage, but it wasn't quite enough. I did see his army size though, and it wasn't very big, so I still felt pretty confident. I also just kind of was ready to cram out a few Mutalisks here, because I noticed that he wasn't increasing his Phoenix numbers super dramatically, like it was just one Stargate. So I thought I'd drop a bunch of Phoenix and you know, just attack him from two sides. Pretty strong ground army and pretty strong air. And then again, he's popping out here, has him back off. I'm not sure why.